around a field like that. It looks like high school soccer, basically, and it's all wrong, and I thoroughly agree with what Demarcus Beasley is saying.
Yeah, I mean, right. Well, let's get into this MLS debate while we're on it. 877-629-4614. This is Sean from Detroit. Sean, you're live. Have your say to the USA.
Yeah, this is Sean from Detroit. I really think that MLS can do a better job of finding ways to actually embrace the community, embrace what the people are actually building. We see that happening here in Detroit with Detroit City FC. We got the community coming together, supporting the club, building it from the ground up. And then what you have is you have big-time investors that come in and try to put a cap on that and try to stifle what the people are building. So no matter what MLS does, if they try to put money into big-time players or big fancy stadiums, if you're actually not nurturing what the community's trying to do, and if you're more siphoning from the community rather than putting into the community, you're going to get exactly what you see in Detroit, and not in Detroit City, I'm sorry, in D.C. You're going to see the same exact thing. It's not about always what you're seeing on the field. It's about what you're nurturing in the community and whether or not you're going to allow that to flourish.
Yeah, I can't speak about every single MLS team, but I know that a lot of teams are embracing the community, but I thoroughly agree that some teams aren't. I can only relate to Sporting Kansas City and here in New York with NYCFC. I know that they're putting an awful lot of money into the communities in building fields, in building AstroTurf pitches. Certainly that's here in New York City. In Sporting Kansas City, I know that they do huge projects within the community, but I know that's not the same across every single team, and you're thoroughly correct that MLS to really grow needs to embrace the community first. And what does that mean? That means the younger generation as well, because you need to start, maybe not breeding's the wrong word, but you need to start getting the young people involved within soccer clubs. And I do think that's happening over quite a majority of the teams in MLS and in USL teams and NASL teams, maybe not this season, obviously NASL teams, but USL teams. It is happening that the kids are playing more and more, but I know every club can do more, and I think we're starting to see that come into MLS. But again, it's still a young league. It's a young league in comparison to most leagues around the world. It's under 25 years of age, which you compare that to England or Italy or Spain or Brazil or Argentina, which are over a century old. It's still very much a child at the moment, an infant.
The way that the league is operating as one team, though. It's stripping a lot of these quote-unquote teams from their autonomy, to be able to identify, build their own identity and define their own relationship to their community.
I think that's very true. We've had tweets from Jim Patton saying, don't forget, they're still trying to take a team away from a community, and he's
Columbus.
Save the crew. And from that, it's hard to get behind your team when they're a franchise and not a club. Playoff system is horrible and undermines the legitimacy of the entire season. I want to care about every game.
Amen.
Yeah, MLS is based on the model of NBA and American football, NFL obviously, and that's just the way it's been set up. And that's the model.
Those are American. Those are domestic sports. It's easy for us to have that model for the NBA, for the NFL, for the NHL. Right? These are American-based sports by and large. Right? We're talking about a world game. We need to get on task with what the majority of the rest of the world is doing. We can't base it off of what other leagues in the United States that we created are doing. That's why we're sitting back on the couch watching the next World Cup.
But right now, are there enough teams?